Morning, everybody. Joe Chacho here. Happy Monday to everybody. Boy, howdy, where does the time go? Summertime's halfway through. We're at the end of our first month of the third quarter, so you got to ask yourself, are you happy where you are? Do you have a plan of direction of where you're going? Do you have a path to take you there? Are you reaching out to the people, managers, myself, the office, to get yourself in track on carriers you may need, carriers you don't have, proper underwriting? What I want to go over today is just some of the different programs that we have that's available to everybody, such as Rural Neighbors Jet Term. I'm going to go over some things that I think you guys should at least look into, you should put into your arsenal of ammunition, and it's just a lot more easier to have these different things. Now, the hard part about it is you just started working with us, and it's brand new. It's kind of hard to remember all of these things here. So all the videos we have are on either the back end or they're on YouTube, so you can go back there and refresh yourself on the things we talk about on our Monday, Thursday, Friday calls. So let's go with number one, Rural Neighbors Jet Term. Very easy. You do it right on your computer. You can get it approved with your client right there in the home. You just got to make sure you got a hotspot. You're hooked up to the World Wide Web. From there, you fill out the application. You're going to get the client approved right then and there. The way the program works is that you must collect their first premium at time of application. So you do it today. Let's say, for example, you're going to do it today. Today will become their draft date. Okay? Now, can you change it later? You got to get with the carrier. Depends on when you want it, how far in advance you want to change it. Yet their first draft will be supposedly hit today, but more than likely tomorrow, and this will be their new draft date from now on out. Underwriting is very, very lenient. Minimum face amount is $50,000. So look into it. You get somebody that's 20, 25, 30 years old, that's a grandchild, you can do a 30-year term on them. And I think it's something that is very easy, simple. You can get it done probably 10, 15 minutes. Number two, Sagicor. We have a company called Sagicor that is a no-lapse UL. Minimum face of $25,000 up to $400,000. Non-med for people 16 to 65, primarily people 18 to 65 who can sign on their own without their parents being there. Very simple process. It's got very little cash value. It's not what you call a cash accumulation. It is what it is, low cash accumulation with benefits guaranteed all the way to age 100. And the beauty is that when your client hits age 100, they've got no premiums up to 120. Full coverage, no premiums. Easy as well, just like the Jet Term, you fill it out right with the client, get them approved in the home. The actual policy is emailed to the client. You can get one as well if you want a wet copy or if you want to make one for your client. From there, you get paid in probably 2-3 days after the draft date. So think about the Sagicor. It's very simple, very easy. Okay. Gerber Life, standalone accidental plan. They also have the guaranteed issue, ages 50 to 80. They also have a standalone accidental program. In Florida, $100,000 is $9.59 per month. Something you ought to keep in the back of your mind to bundle up with a regular final expense policy or a whole life policy that you offer your client. In Florida, the rates are different in states. They got state specific. Florida is $4.80 for $50,000. So when you go visit a client, do them a $10,000, $15,000 whole life, or you do them a $25,000 or $50,000 term and throw on the actual rider from Gerber. Sweet, adds to it, makes it more sticky. You have to have a health license to sell the Gerber Health. You don't need a health license for the life, yet you do for the standalone health part. So if you have one, use it. If you don't have it, consider getting your health license. How many of you guys are using our little rate calculator? It's given to everybody, no charge, unlimited use. You've got level, you've got graded, you've got modified, you've got 10-year term, 20-year term, and you've got the $25,000 on up on the actual traditional final expense. So if you want to look up, let's say, a Rural Neighbors or a Americo simplified issue, you go to where it's got level, it goes up to whatever their face amounts are. Yet you've got a client that wants $50,000 of whole life. You hit the little tab button, the little drop button down. You go into traditional whole life, then you see what is available. You got United Home Life, you got Royal Neighbors, you got Sagicor, plus many more that are on that list. Pick the one that fits best for your clients based on their health. Remember, Americo Eagle, the Eagle product only, has a new program that is offered to us to offer to your clients. You can offer your client who is a smoker a non-smoker rate. If they plan on quitting within the next 3 years, you tell them you're going to quit in the next 3 years, I can offer you a non-smoker rate. The beauty about it is when you go to look up the rates on the final expense cost calculator and you hit as a smoker, it's going to show the non-smoker rate within the smoker category for all of us. On the application, if you do a phone application or you do an actual e-app, you must say that they are a smoker, yet you still give them a non-smoker rate. Now, I'm going to advise you to tell your client how it works and they understand it, because if another agent comes in and sees how they wrote smoker and he has no idea about a product that's available to us, he may try to tell the client the price is wrong and show them something. So just make sure your client is understanding that you have to write yes to smoker, yet they're getting a non-smoker rate. Point of sale. Spoke to an agent just recently, and he said, Joe, I used to live in Nevada, and I've got some clients of mine that have moved to California. What do? I don't really want to drive 4 hours to go see them because they may decide not to buy. What do you think? Point of sale. Liberty Bankers has a 3-way phone call. Americo Eagle has one. Royal Neighbor has one. You can sit on the phone with your client, do a 3-way phone call to write your client who lived where you used to live or they moved somewhere else. You do need a non-res license to offer the product in a different state, yet you can sit at your home in the morning, in the afternoons, whenever you're available, speak to your client on the phone, go over their health, and then from there get them on a 3-way phone call and get them approved right there on the phone. To me, it's easy as peanut butter and jelly, and it's something you guys got to sit and look at, especially the agents who have moved from one state to another state, or if you live down in like South Florida area around Miami, and you moved all the way up to either to Tampa, which is the middle, or you moved all the way up to Jacksonville or Tallahassee, you don't want to drive no 4 hours or 5 hours down there. The client knows you, they trust you, get them on the phone, try to do a 3-way phone call with them. It's another avenue to make money, and you don't have to do the exertion of driving and maybe get into an accident. We spoke about cross-selling last week, or the week before last. Cross-selling to me, for us, is probably one of the most smartest things for us to do, because if you're in a house, you either bought a lead, you door knocked them, it was a referral. My thought process is I want you guys to control that house. If you don't have Medicare Advantage, you need to go and study. You need to get signed up with Medicare Advantage companies. Get with Jay in the office. Jay will set you up, tell you where to go, how to go, get you set up. Medicare supplements, Americo has one, Transamerica has one. We've got Fidelity, Banker Fidelity we got an array of different carriers that are available to you with Medicare supplements. Nice thing about Medicare supplements, you don't need to take any of those big old tests unless you want to write United Healthcare is the only one I can think of right now that you've got to go take their certifications to sell their actual Medicare products. Something that is very good, something you need to get into, because if you don't, somebody else is going to do it. Go to the videos we had 2 weeks ago about cross-selling. I kind of lay out a way that to me is comfortable, to where when you go into a home, you don't go in with just one thing on your mind, yet you do. But yet, before you start speaking, you're going to kind of talk to them about some different things and say, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about final expense as you sent the card in for, a little bit to see if I can save you some money on your Medicare Advantage, see if I can get you on an LIS program, see if there's an SEP available, chronic illness program available in your state. When you learn these here and you see the amount of money that you can make month after month, year after year, by doing it, you're going to really take advantage of it and say, I should have done this before. Leads. As you know, we've got a direct mail lead piece. We got a phone lead. We've got internet leads. We've got an appointment that is set for you, phone lead. So if you need this stuff here, get with Heather or get with Jay. We'll send it out to you. We also have the data list where you can buy a data list that is put into a zip code order for you guys to where when you're out door knocking your list, you just want to canvas an area. The nice thing about it is it goes from age 57 to 79, income 10,000 to 50,000. So you're really not getting the people that only make $500-600 a month. You kind of get them out of that there. So when you're door knocking, you got more potential. When you're door knocking these people, you're giving yourself an advantage to make some additional money. It's a good way to break those little jitters on talking to somebody at a door. Is it easy? For some people, it is very easy. Some people, it's very challenging to sit and knock at a door and say, hello, my name is Joe. Recently, you sent a card in. I've got your name on my list. We didn't see how you responded. When you start doing this here, buy a data list for, I think the smallest one we got, I think is 250 names you can get. Buy it. It costs $20. The thing about it is you knock on some doors, what it's going to do, you're going to lose that jittery, take a couple steps back to where you feel comfortable and the person feels comfortable. It's a good way to practice. It's kind of like paying your tuition to where when you get an actual direct mail lead piece, that direct mail lead piece is easier for you to approach the door if the people don't answer the door. Think about filing expense. Think about sending in a card that people send in, and sometimes they don't answer their phone. They got caller ID, but if they look at your phone, they don't recognize that number, they're not going to let you in. They're not going to answer the door. They're not going to answer the phone, excuse me. So what I recommend to do, you can go to Google, and there's some other ones that are charging. I think it's called Sideline and Line 2. You can go online, get yourself a phone number for that zip code, for that area that you're working. So here in Tampa, it's 813. If I go across the bay to like Pinellas County, it is 727. I go to Lakeland, it's 863. So if I'm working Lakeland, I get my phone, boom, 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 I put something in, and now when I call, it's calling from a Lakeland area code to give me hopefully an advantage to where the people will answer the phone, meaning it's a local call, not a long-distance call. So look into that there, and then the beauty about it is that if somebody calls you back, it's going to pop up on your 863 number. Okay. As you guys know, we've got Dropbox. Brian and Heather and Jay had designed this Dropbox to where it's kind of like in the old days, like DOS for dummies. You can go there. Brian has it to where it's set up to where you can put in some little words, takes you to what's available. It's got all the available cheat sheets for every one of you guys. It's got it to where it's a carrier placement guide. So if you got a client that has COPD, emphysema, Parkinson's, heart attack 3 years ago, stroke 6 months ago, TIA, you go down the list. This way, it's an alphabetical order. Then you go across with the different carriers. There's two different ones there. It's number 1 and number 2. And what you do, you got it to where if you got a client that's got COPD, it's going to tell you where to go. If it's a guaranteed issue, if it's immediate, if it's immediate standard, or it may even sit and say use another carrier. So it's a helpful guide for you to where when you're in a home and you're unsure where to go, you can look at the sheet, say, okay, what carriers do I have? Okay, this carrier accepts it. Look at the application, bam. Number 2, when it comes to reading the application and it says 2 years, it means 2 years, not 2.5 years. Now, what I mean by that is that if you have a client who speaks too much, that wants to tell you all about all their problems, I'm going to caution you on getting them on the phone with a POS carrier, because what's going to happen, they're going to blow the deal because they were asked by you, have you had a heart attack in 2 years? They're going to say, no, I had one 2.5 years ago. I had a stroke 3 years ago. I had this 4 years ago. And what it does, it just confuses the point of service person on the other end, throws them out of whack, and what they do, they say, woohoo, home office. So make sure you tell your client, answer the questions the exact same way as we've done today. What I like to do is actually give the client an actual application. If you have a worksheet application, turn it around, have it right there, have them go down all the questions, have them answer no, 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 whatever the questions are, whatever the outcome is. Say, these are the questions in the order they're going to ask you. This is the way you answer them, so just answer them the same way. What happens a lot of times is that they'll ask, are you a diabetic on insulin? Okay? They'll sit and say, no, I take just the pill. The way the question is that, are you on insulin? So make sure that you help your client understand that they're going to ask them these questions, because certain times, as we know, even with ourselves, we hear, but yet we don't listen. Then they get on the phone. They start mentioning the word fraud. It makes them a little bit nervous. Okay, so when you do a POS, educate your client. Make sure you have the entire application filled out in its entirety. You have the checking account information, savings account information, all there, as if you're leaving to go somewhere before you even get on the call. So, recap. Royal Neighbors Jet term, Americo's got term, Transamerica's got term. Almost every carrier we have has a term product. You got to find the one that fits your client's needs, the minimum face, the max face, non-med, or something that's fully medically underwritten. So if you want something that's fully medically underwritten, you may want to go with Mutual Omaha, you may want to go with Transamerica, you may want to go with Statutory. Okay? The beauty about our little FE cost is got final expense. They told Heather that they're probably going to be coming out with the term Dropbox hopefully soon. We keep our fingers crossed. Okay? The Gerber Life for the guaranteed issue is a life license. If you want to do their standalone accidental, you need to have a health license. Okay? FE Cost has all of our carriers listed in there, from the less expensive all the way down to the most expensive. If you want to get on a lead program, you want to buy some leads, you want to buy some age leads, get with Heather or Jay. We'll point you in a direction to help you out. Cross-selling, go back to one of the videos a couple weeks ago. Review that, practice it, learn it. Put in some things that you know, put in some things you've heard before. Kind of tweak it to where it comes out best for you. Americo's non-smoker, smoker, the Eagle product only, which comes with an accidental rider. You can do a 3-way phone call, or you can do the actual e-app, get your client approved right then online. And Medicare Advantage. I'm going to tell you guys, Medicare Advantage is a way to go. It's another way for you to have another stream of income. It's another way for you to make money. So with that said, end of the first month of the third quarter, ask yourself, am I happy where I'm at? Am I content with the amount of leads I've got? Do I need to get on a lead program? Do I need to buy additional leads? Should I buy a data list? Should I devise some phone leads? You need to kind of sit and have a plan. Let's say this week you make $2,000. Instead of getting that $2,000 and just spending it on something, my thought is to set up an account for leads. Set up another account for your taxes, okay? It's kind of challenging sometimes, but then at the end of the year when you owe Uncle Sam money and you've got a couple dollars off to the side, it's not as traumatic when they say you owe $6,000 and you don't have the money. Have an account for that. Have an account for your leads, and put some money in there. Because the thing about it is, guys, is that we're in business for ourselves, yet not by ourselves. And when you're out there, you feel like the Lone Ranger. So if you have a CPA or an accountant who does your books, does your paperwork, does your taxes, kind of have him give you some type of a guide of what's happened in the past, where you feel you're going to be going this year with your mileage expenses, your lead expenses, of how much you should put up to the side. So with that said, I appreciate your hard work. If you got any questions, get with your managers, get with myself. See you on the call Thursday, and make it a great and successful week. And thanks for your hard work. Thank you. Bye-bye.